Mill locked me in a bathroom during delivery to keep me from distracting from her daughter's wedding. I woke up in the hospital hours later. My husband Richard Rick, M30, and I, F29, had a daughter 2 weeks ago. We are thrilled to have our first child. We've been busy adjusting to parenthood. Our change is difficult, but we're making it. Every effort to adapt. Unfortunately, our daughter May's birth prevented us from helping more. I may never be able to forget one of my most painful events. I felt paralyzed that day. Even though May's arrival was joyous, a quick response from my husband likely saved my life. I think we should be more compassionate toward the family, since May is the first kid despite the tragedy. However, my emotions and newborn obligations are clouding my judgment. I asked Reddit for help. This story may be long and have many characters, so be patient. Anna and Emma are Rick's sisters. Both are younger than him. Anna is 28 and Emma 24. I get along with both of them, and don't think we're enemies. Since we're all busy with work, we rarely see each other. Emma lives in a different city. However, we communicate via SMS or calls and reconnect sometimes. Another important Rick family member. F53 is my mother-in-law. I get along with Anna and Emma, but Rachel is different. I think she has a problem with everyone, not just myself. She is a control freak who won't back down. She wants everything her way. After their father left, she raised her children, thus all three obey her wishes. They try to simplify their lives and hers. If someone else expresses a wish different from hers, she reacts with disapproval, moping, and a full-blown meltdown with tantrums and crying. I keep my distance from her as it gets harder to interact with her. Rick gets it. He knows his mother is problematic, so he lets me keep my distance and address her properly. Despite her control, I understand his feelings for her, so I leave them alone. She doesn't like me, so she doesn't interfere. The deal benefits both parties. However, a few days ago, she caused the issue to spin out of control. I now believe she can never be forgiven. Anna was engaged when May was born. Rick's friend Jonah, M30, married her, and the wedding was lovely. He proposed to her a year earlier, and I agreed to be her attendant. However, Rick and I discovered that I was expecting. I asked her to ask someone else since I knew I couldn't handle it. This was approximately 6 months after the proposal, 6 months before the wedding. I was 3 months pregnant. I thought she would punish me for abandoning the project midway, but I realized I had to prioritize. I was frantic before telling her. To my surprise, none of our relationship was irreparably damaged. That happened. Anna was thrilled when I told her. For a while, she ignored her wedding. After I told her I would be unavailable for work, she said, "I will take care of you." She even considered delaying the ceremony to keep me away, which I would have done had May been born. She should not have done it, and several reasons prevented it from happening. Even if the conclusion was uncertain, she supported me. Emma was matron of honor, and I knew the sisters were busy with wedding preparations, thus I abstained. I struggled with contacting them during pregnancy. However, they communicated well. He visited me and helped me greatly. Despite Anna helping me during the occasion, I regret not supporting her on her most important day. My mother-in-law was the only one who seemed annoyed. She probably was upset that I couldn't be the lady of honor anymore. Disrupted wedding preparations. I saw her point. That was the only plausible answer. Even when Anna was happy with the pregnancy and my absence as matron of honor, the hostility continued. From then on, Rachel enraged me. Even though the bride was calm, I was confused, but I figured my hormones were making me tense, and she was nervous from the wedding. I realized this was due to my misleading mental narratives. I ignored her, and it was okay. Real and metaphorical chaos ensued throughout the ceremony. I was pregnant 2 weeks ago, and overwhelmed. I had a huge abdomen, swollen feet, and fainting symptoms. I wanted to attend the event because Anna asked me. I questioned her in. I wanted it to be her special day, so I asked if she wanted me to come. I told her a heavily pregnant woman could draw attention away from her, something I didn't want. It would be devastating to disrupt the bride and groom's wedding day. Anna was quite offended when I told her. She was surprised that I would focus on this small topic. Skip her wedding. She said she didn't care about fame. She only wanted her family to support her on her wedding day. She said I had to come regardless of conflicts. I knew she meant it. She speaks bluntly. She would have been honest if she didn't want me there. She did, and she said it with conviction, so I knew I had to help her. Therefore, despite my physical discomfort, I knew I had to attend her wedding. I admit many were groaning. I tried to ignore them because I knew Anna liked me. Suddenly, that was my only concern. Rachel rarely interacted with me and always showed displeasure, but I was too scared to notice. I let her exist because I couldn't face her or understand her passive-aggressive conduct. I would not, she could reply to her glare. The main incident left me and my friends traumatized. I felt uneasy before the ceremony. Anna was already familiar to me. I rose, thinking it might help my symptoms, and went to the top level, planning to return later. I had no idea Rachel was after me. Since I was sweating and felt strange, I went to the bathroom. My water burst suddenly. Despite my love for my daughter, she chose the worst time to arrive, and it was a real flood. I was relieved to see my Mill because I couldn't think clearly. I was crouching in pain. Immediately, she approached me. I told her to get my phone and call Rick quickly because we had to get to the hospital. She helped me stand and sat me on the loo. I gave her my phone. She lost her cool then. After the ceremony, she told me that Rick would arrive within an hour so I wouldn't distract Anna. I said I couldn't handle this for an hour and asked if she was nuts. Tried to grab my phone from her, but she locked me in and stole it. I was pregnant in a restroom with my baby on the way. Toilet sitting without a partner or phone. How I averted a full-blown panic attack is unknown, but I am grateful that I did not since I don't know what would have happened. I awoke and slowly approached the door, beating on it. My shrieks went unheard because the washrooms were on the first floor. Everyone was seated for the wedding. I screamed until I was silent, but no one responded. I thought I was going to die and take my baby then. I was fatigued, sodden, and sweating. Was voiceless. That was my last memory. Due to tiredness, I don't know what happened after Elle died. I don't remember how I got to the hospital. I know I did. I woke up a few hours later in the hospital with Rick there, crying. I needed time to understand my surroundings and the circumstance. After seeing Rick cry, I suspected the worst. Locking me in the bathroom brought back everything, and I thought I had survived my tears. Rick breathed a sigh of relief and started crying in my arms when he realized I was awake. Dread filled my stomach as I didn't know how to perceive the circumstance. I was relieved when the nurse entered carrying a newborn girl. Rick denied being malevolent, but I was tempted to hit him. He was happy that I was unharmed because I was unconscious when he found me in the lavatory. I will never forget the first moment I held my baby or fathom a greater emotion. I think no experience will beat those sentiments. I'm glad Rick didn't give me further information because I was too tired to address the issue. A small disturbance was audible. Outside and asked what happened. He said Mill was outside and wanted to visit her granddaughter. I described the events in detail. I informed him of her behavior, which put our daughter in danger without cause. I also told him she could never be around my daughter. I thought she was dead. He claimed to know everything, seeing me in. She was filled with emotion and revealed everything. I told him I would forgive her regardless of her emotional state. He laughed and said his mother was dead from then on. He also threatened life endangerment charges. He threatened legal measures to hold her accountable. I was relieved when he said that. I know he loves his mother. Indeed, all three do. After her stunt, which could have cost me my life, I wasn't ready to forgive her. My daughter and I live. Our marriage would have ended if Rick had chosen her over me. No one could recover from that. I suspected he could favor his mother, who had made it through all the challenges to raise kids. I am not complaining about his continuous support, even if I did not expect it. If possible, it has deepened my love for him. He said the wedding was okay when I asked. His phone call was anticipated by Emma and Anna. Visit us by calling. I asked if Anna was mad. He laughed and said I didn't need to worry about Anna. She is overjoyed, saying her whole family attended the wedding and that May's birth was the greatest gift she could have gotten. I was emotional when he told me and recommended him to call them right away. Anna, Emma, and Jonah joined me at the hospital in minutes. The best part? Anna and Jonah were still in their wedding clothes, and Anna wanted a bridal shot with her niece. I started crying uncontrollably. It was incredible, touching moment. I apologized to Anna for ruining her day after snapping the photo. She hugged me and said I was misinterpreting the situation. I made her day. I informed Anna of Mill's behavior since we disclosed the pregnancy, and she said my only mistake was not telling them sooner. They may have stopped her pranks. I wanted to avoid difficulty, and Emma said any trouble was okay as long as I was safe. Just writing this brought tears to my eyes since I understood they loved me like family at that time. They saw me as more than Rick's wife, familial member. Anna is one of the best people I've met. She is happy and safe, so she is where she is. Rachel's difference from her children confuses me. It's like they saw her and decided not to follow her. Strange, but I'm indifferent. Simply stunning. Anna told Mill on her way and that she would make sure Rick and I filed charges while she was outside. Mill wanted to meet May, but I refused, or near to me. Anna said we must avoid her. Anna told me she regretted not clarifying her views on my pregnancy or addressing her mother's overprotectiveness. She claimed she could have stopped the situation. I told her she was not to fault for giving me security. Rick always talked to Mill outdoors. Rick told me about his chat with Mill when I was discharged and returned home with May 2 or 3 days later. He said he told her. He said he would file charges, and that she could drink Saint since nothing would change. He also advised her she could not participate in May's life. No way was she her grandmother. She chose to risk my unborn kid and my life for a perceived offense that did not affect her. He also indicated that he would reduce his payments to Mill, who was living off Rick and Emma's money. She broke out, saying she had dedicated her life to the children and did not deserve this. Rick told her he was aware of and appreciative for her contributions to their lives, but she did not control them. He said she was incorrect and that he had for years ignored or excused her actions. This no longer applies. May needed proof that she had crossed a major threshold and was unsafe, especially because Anna was fine. Rachel said she understood Anna didn't want me to be the mother in the spotlight. However, Anna overheard and attacked her. We'll continue the case, certainly. Due to my infant care, I cannot participate in this drama, but Rick will. Rick promised to resolve it. Her siblings no longer want to talk to her. Anna no longer speaks with her, Emma only contacts her when required, and Rick and I are apparently not in touch. Mill may not have expected this conclusion and may have been compelled to protect Anna despite her wicked deed. In no way am I supporting her. However, I still feel sorry for her because the dire outcome. I'm wondering if they should tell her because it seems unjust. I don't know, I may be confused. If I mention this, Rick will be furious. He is furious with her and cannot look at her. Not what I expected, but here we are. Update 1: reconciliation is banned forever. I apologize for the long silence, but I've been busy. Responsibility for my own and my child's health as a new mother. We are thrilled that May will be 8 weeks old in a few days. Rick and I have experienced much kindness from Anna and Jonah. Emma must return to work, but she gets queries regularly. May literally illuminates everyone's iris. They like her and talk about her photos. No one has contacted Mill. I convinced Rick not to file charges because we're already overfilled and it's pointless. Rick was first hesitant, but he agreed because none of us had the energy to pursue any other pursuits. We notified Mill last week and she thanked us. I say appeared since the woman is unstable and showed her true nature last week. A loud beating on the door woke Rick and me at 1 a.m. last week. I escaped and hid with May while Rick tried to open the door, thinking it was a burglary. I heard activity but didn't leave for fear of waking May. Rick said Mill was acting in a certain way, as if insane. Our efforts to stop her from seeing May were futile. She tried to force her way in, so Rick threatened her with the police before she stopped. We immediately alerted Anna and Emma of her illness since everyone needed to know. We were nervous, but it failed. The next day, she texted us distressingly. She initially said we were cruel and unpleasant by denying her access. The only offense we punished May for was being a mother. Extra melodramatic gibberish was added. She said she raised 3 children and had to prioritize one over the other. She thought so on May's birthday. She didn't want May to ruin Anna's day. She easily ignored the fact that May was an embryo, and that Anna had repeatedly stated that she did not object to the wedding and pregnancy. I still understand this section. I was very disturbed by her next statement. She worried that May would make her seem less important to her children. Anna's wrath was expected women react that way. She didn't like that we were excited about the wedding and pregnancy. She was dissatisfied that we were all content with for and with each other. She wanted us to compete and envy. She stated her intention for Anna to dislike us as the due date approached the wedding. May not be the center of attention by then. This did not happen, and May was the only topic. She felt cheated that an unborn child had united the siblings. She typed and sent more after I asked Rick to block her. I told him she was insane and hazardous for May and us. I've been in constant pain since seeing those texts. I'm surprised a 50-year-old woman is competing against a 7-week-old. I find this illogical. Since I broke up with her, it's superfluous. I can no longer excuse her actions or understand her intentions. I don't care about her. Our messages to Anna and Emma also upset them. Mill may be having a psychotic episode, and Emma will take her to a facility. I like the idea, but I'm not participating. I no longer want to interact with her since she's unreasonable. A restraining order has been issued against Mill. She stopped trying, but we're cautious. Emma saw a psychologist and psychiatrist, but Mill is fit. Despite being diagnosed with her only medical history was generalized anxiety disorder. Since Emma had no medical cause for her behavior, doctors urged her to seek therapy. Emma has stopped talking. She offered to help if needed, but Mill's anger shows her true nature, and she can't stand her. I agree with this and understand. She may have had my pity and support if she had a psychiatric illness in a few months, but we now know her actual nature. No method to accept that. This prompted our restraining order. Rick and I prioritize May's safety, and Mill has shown twice that she is unsafe. She also dislikes May, making it even more important to avoid interaction. I hope this is my last update, and that I never have more to say about this episode. The family's experience has been horrible, and I'm just grateful we're alive.